Sorry. So one of the stories we did last year was with India My Way. I'm going to play out, I think, 2 stories, maybe, or 3. This is an interesting one. Let me play it out and give you a brief on.
Dhruv Lakra is an ex-investment banker who set up a career service.
There's something unique about his company. Almost all of his employees are speech and hearing impaired.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Dhruv. Hi, Good to see you.
I'm curious to see if this career company works differently. Let me watch them at work.
When did you first think of starting this?
So the idea came in 2009. I was sitting next to a deaf boy in a bus in Bombay, and that got me thinking about deaf people. The idea was to radically change the way the employment is looked at. We want to de-link deafness and / disability with charity.
He went to great lengths to explain to me that, you know what, this is a business I'm running. The people who work for me don't leverage the fact that they're differently abled. The only thing that really matters is that we are an inclusive society.
I decide to tag along on a delivery run to see how it works.
आप रविंद्र के साथ में जाइए. इसका साइन लैंग्वेज में नाम है रविंद्र.
Ravindra. Paloma. Communication with Ravindra was actually way easier than I expected. I don't know sign language, but he just got things.
Staff is very motivated.
For sure.
They don't leave that easily. Very efficiency driven, very operational driven.
Right.
And
Not distracted.
Not distracted.
Clearly, it's not impossible to be more inclusive. A few new systems, the intent to make it work, and more differently able people can be included in our workforce. A lot of the times the customers don't actually know that, that these people are deaf, that the employees are deaf.
The story here is how well they work, not the fact that they work. That's the story.
So I think, let's say if you look at 3 generations, my father's, mine, and your generation, there's a huge difference. In my father's generation, if someone was born and they had a child who was deaf-mute, they'd actually just give up. They'd be like, shit, life is over. Nothing's going to happen. In my generation, we already had started inclusiveness, right? So we would have them in our classrooms. We would have them part of our schools. In your generation, you've turned it around. You're not looking at it as a problem. You guys are saying, hey, this is the solution. You're setting up business on that. So while we're doing a travel show, this was a travel show, and I'm in Bombay and we're having a meal which is like $175,000 per person. We did that at the Taj, but I also layer in a story like that. So it gives you something to think about. You've got to build in narratives, which is like, like webs and weaving. So you've got to build in different threads and streams. If you don't, people lose interest. Audiences will go. You are the audiences. You know how fast you switch off things, right? So that's another one. The next one is in Ladakh.
I've noticed there's a lot of stray dogs around here. I just feel like it's so important for animals in urban spaces to also get protection and care.
But you know what? There are over 5,000 of them in Leh, and they really can be a bit of a menace.
They often see them as a threat, which is why I'm happy that organizations like Live to Rescue teach people how to treat these strays just with more compassion,
Live to Rescue is an animal shelter that hopes to build a bridge between stray animals and humans in Leh.
Padma Tashi is the president of the Young Drukpa Association that runs the animal shelter.
Namaskar. Welcome to Live to Rescue. We started this project in 2013, and from last 3 years we are working both day and night and try to control the dog menace and dog problem and stray dog issues in Ladakh. Yeah, this is Singba.
He's so cute.
Unfortunately, he's an orphan. So then we brought him to the animal center.
So what is the section?
It's a male sections we call it so-called very aggressive dogs. These fellows have already beaten a minimum 3 people each of these dogs in the different...
Whether it's a dog or a human being, if they're treated with aggression and violence, they're bound to be aggressive in nature.
Hello, they don't look very aggressive to me, these
Oh,
doggies.
they're so cute.
So once they are here, so they are really, really nice dogs. The long-term objective is to eradicating the animal suffering in Ladakh.
It's mealtime for the dogs. Lunch is leftovers donated by a nearby hotel.
Chow time!
Wow, they wiped it out, huh?
You want some? Come on. Well, how about you? Good stuff. Not going in for a swim? No, I get it. It's cold.
We went into the handicap section, which is the real, they were the real heroes. It's really sad. A lot of them had lost a leg or both legs.
Dogs naturally like Paloma, I think, because they sense that they're not going to be let down by her, and they're right. I think Paloma likes dogs more than she likes most humans.
Medical care is provided to these animals, and the vet allows me to assist him in treating a dog suffering from mange.
We keep reading reports of how the number of strays in cities is increasing, and it's important to find workable ways in which animals and humans can coexist in urban spaces.
I do hope that other cities see many more initiatives like this one.
So Ladakh had a very strange problem. It has per capita the same number of stray dogs as humans. And in tourist season, I don't know how many of you have been there yet or plan to go there, but in tourist season, there's a lot of people there. It's nice and warm. Dogs reproduce. There's a lot of tourists. There's a lot of garbage. So they get a lot of food. So suddenly you'll have a burst of population. But in winter, it's minus 20 to minus 30. It's quite amazing, actually. The sky is a nice ink blue at night, and it's so still. But you go out in 5 minutes, you can freeze. But then these dogs and their furs are thick, and there's no tourists, there's no food. So what do? There actually were 2 incidents where they went and mauled and killed 2 people. One 9-year-old girl and another woman. Now, the minute this happened, the army stepped in and said, cull all of them, kill all of them. So the army went around with guns saying, let's kill all of them. But Ladakh has another thing, it's Buddhist. So the minute they started shooting the dogs, the Buddhists came in front and sat in front of the dogs and said, you can't shoot them. They're a life form. So they said, what do we do? So then they came to a compromise and said, give us all your stray dogs. We will set up a sanctuary for them. This is India. You'll hear all the negative shit that's happening. But this positive builds more positive. It builds hope. It inspires. And I do hope that some of you tell stories like this and continue to tell stories like this. Independent publishing, and I came to my children again, 7.5 and 2.5. Before they were like Viraj, who's now 2.5, before he was like 6 months, he was on the iPad, like swiping. He couldn't walk. And he selects stuff he wants to watch on YouTube or Netflix. For all of you, it's like first nature, right? This is what you get. But for me, it's amazing and interesting. They don't want to watch television at all. They don't watch television. They watch YouTube and Netflix. If I put them in front of the TV, they'll be like going to the screen and trying to touch screen. Like switch the thing. They're like, no, Billy Bam Bam or something else. But that's a huge learning there. Ubiquity is what has come in now. What you want, when you want. There should be good content and it should be contextual. So a platform like YouTube opens out the world to everyone. Just to give you some stats, and I'm sure most of you know this, 300 hours of stories are added every minute on YouTube. It has 4 billion video views daily. Now, the next set of people who are going to grow up as storytellers, content owners, IP owners, are going to be on YouTube. Because YouTube is giving sleepless nights to all the biggies. I've sat in on like media committees where I know that the biggest broadcasters in India don't want Google, Facebook, Netflix in the room. Because if they are in the room, they can move policy towards this, to allow more of this. They want to stop this. They want to bring their own platforms in and hold that off. But I think given the fact that you have a mobile phone, and it's interesting, in 2008, we bought a high definition camera with lenses. The camera was about 1 crore and the lenses was about 40 lakhs. The camera on the iPhone 7 is way much better than that camera. 1 crore 40 lakhs, imagine. So technology has become so cheap that you can do this. Small tips, tricks, how do you shoot? What do you do? Are you telling the story? Is there 5 angles? You guys are in good hands here. Your professors are amazing with what they're teaching you. So keep an open mind to it, but start today. How many of you have a YouTube channel? Show of hands, please. Anyone? You guys are media students. If nothing else, start a collective media channel on the media school. What's happening every week? I'm sure these guys are going to be okay with it. It's going to be fun. It tells the whole story of what's happening. It tells your stories. Things that you find interesting around, things that inspire, things that are horrible that need to change. Not here, it's generally anywhere. So, pick that up. But start publishing independently. You're all on Facebook, right? Show of hands, everyone on Facebook? Everyone on Facebook. Cool. Any social media platform that you prefer these days? Instagram? Yeah. So fastest growing. 80% of India is consuming content on Facebook. Insta is the fastest growing one beyond that. It's just easy. It's like photos and visuals. But then again, are you there? Are you using it purposefully? You're taking career choices in communication. Have you done anything meaningful with any of it? Anyone? Any blogger out there who's already got blogs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. What are your blogs on? What spaces do you write on?
Basically, my one was basically told that you're supposed to make. Say your name.
Krishangi.
So I did my schooling in DPS International. So they told us that you're supposed to make a blog and share anything about how your day was, what you've learned, or something that's basic. And it is also about what I do. It has 1 or 2 clips on it and my rants.
And what's your areas of interest?
I want to go in the social media space. Like get on YouTube and start my own scene.
Wonderful. You back there?
Mainly about sports.
Sports.
What I've achieved, what I need to achieve. I write a lot about myself and other people, situations.
Okay. And any particular sport that you play that you would focus on?
I run and I play basketball.
Cool. In front.
I keep up, and my blog is basically about what I think and compare to as how society thinks about certain things. So mine has got to do with random thoughts that come into my head and I just type them down and put them on the blog. And for me to compare how people read it and feel about it.
Did I miss anyone now? Sorry.
I'm Priyanka and my blog is mostly about my scribbles and I write down poetry and what I feel about the society, mostly India, where the culture is, where it is a narrow culture. The people here are narrow-minded, so they're not free about lesbians and gays. So it's mostly about that.
Wonderful. I mean, it's interesting to hear all these different points of view. Thank you for sharing. As I said again, digital is such a great enabler for all of you. 5 of you got a good head start to the rest of your class. Use it. YouTube's a good hack. I mean, it's really a hack. Do you want to trend on #1 on the first page of Google in a search query? YouTube. So videos given preference in the algorithms will do it. So if you have a video on it and you have a blog post, chances are that you rank high. All you need to do is make sure that the title of your video, the keywords that you use, the topics that you use are relevant. You go on and you search YouTube for social media. You search Google for social media, you'll get things from YouTube back there. You get the top ranking guys there. And there's businesses that are made there. And then there's young kids like who win millions of dollars every month. So why not do that? In villages in India, a lot of social auditors move to mobile phones, and they're using YouTube, and that's amazing. There's video volunteers, there's one group that does this. There are like some 400 reporters across the country that go and check, oh, the government has said we must build a road here, and the politicians are giving the money away. They go with their phones and they take a video, they can send it up, and suddenly it becomes a rage, and the local newspaper carries it, and guess what? The politician finally has to build the road. So social accountability. Yes, India has a lot of bad things going on, but it is a lot of women doing a lot of good things. For those who are interested in journalism, remember, journalism is printing what someone else does not want printed. Everything else is publications. That means going against popular belief, going against what everyone says is right. Because you know it's wrong. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Pick that up. And sometimes, you're sitting and I said, I believe we're fortunate to be born in India. We have an unfair advantage. India has some of the oldest stories. The oldest stories. Ramayana, Mahabharata. They predate everything. Globally. And the oldest, if you look at Bible being the oldest, it's only 2,000 years old. You're looking at 10, 15,000 more. And then we were an oral tradition, so there are versions before that would be transmitted down orally. So we have that advantage. We are storytellers. And what do you do when you want to inspire? There's someone I met. He was 23 back then, Udit Nijhawan, and he showed me some videos, and there's something called Watchtower of Turkey. It inspired me. In 5 minutes, I wanted to go to Turkey. I'm like, oh my God. And both of us sat down and he kept saying, what's there for India like this? We've seen some of the incredible India campaigns, wonderful. We have a foreigner going, playing Holi, doing all that shit. But it doesn't show me a lot of India. So a 23-year-old in December 2015 started on a journey, and he traveled all 29 states. And without any mandate of a client, without any brief, I said, do India proud. This is what he made. we're trying to now currently sell this to the government. Hopefully Incredible India takes this up. Then we can do more journeys like this. But yeah, you got to have faith in what we have. I think, as I said again, you're incredibly lucky to be born in India. It's a living tapestry of different culture and tradition. No other country has it. Most countries, one faith, that's it. You go beyond that, no, nothing's allowed. We have that here. It's rooted in every one of us. You know, the food, the language. If you go a few kilometers, the food changes. A few more kilometers, the language changes. It's amazing. Which country has that? It's like a continent on its own. It's got like 29 other countries, at least, if not more, there. Before we jump into Delhipedia, whenever you're looking at stories, keep tracking them. Social media is where they break first now. So Twitter is where you'll see them trend initially. You'll see it hit before the news channels can take it up, because they don't need any video or photos. So by the time a news channel gets a report, you're looking at 6 to 8 to 10 hours later. But Twitter breaks it like in seconds, virtually. If there's an earthquake, I check Twitter first thing. I don't know how many else do, but it has it right then. It's like so many, whatever magnitude center is here, this is what. So track that for whatever stories you're looking at doing, and in any niche, be it entertainment, be it poetry or human rights, diversity, any issue, sports. You'll find all of them trending there. And you find these communities that are centered around that. So you have a user group that will buy into what you're talking about. There's a lot of fake news and stories out there. So as communicators, whenever you do communicate, unless you're wanting to do this and perpetuate fake news or propaganda, which is a separate career option if you're doing content for political parties and campaigns, I've done that. But that is a lot of fake news and BS. Never rely on memory. And if you ever are doing journalism, if you're doing reporting, news reportage, current affairs, always keep a notepad with you, keep detailed notes, write down the name of the person, the phone number, when you met. If you can do an audio note, do that. Today, with defamation cases and the like happening, that could be your backup. So do that, going forward, that does work. Brings me to Delhipedia. Now, it started out as a video guide for Delhi, and now we're building an experiences, so it's an experiential guide. It sort of blends the online with the offline. We want viewers to experience places. So till now, we've been working with video, photos, audio, and articles. But starting this month, we're going into 360, and then after that, we're taking it into VR and AR as well. So you could technically, from a concert that's happening, just put on your headsets and you could be in a concert as long as we're partnered in with it using VR. Or you could explore a monument or a market or a beautiful forest, which you couldn't otherwise travel to, in the middle of a hectic day. So I don't know if you've seen 360 videos. They are inspiring. So that's where technology is taking you. That leap and jump is going to be faster and faster and faster. Every city has a different energy signature, pulse to it. Delhi does too. It's multiple cities layered on each. Each has a legacy. Each has a history. You know that, which is the oldest boulevard in the world? Anyone? Boulevard, like properly planned streets, grand arches. Paris is supposed to have it, right? No, it's Chandni Chowk. And in 1650, a woman architect designed it. So Shah Jahan's daughter, Jahanara Begum, she was an entrepreneur. She was given a royal title. She had her ships plying trade routes. 1650. Think back, London was a slum less than 100 years ago. Here is this woman who's designing Chandni Chowk, and Chandni Chowk is not the silver market. Chandni Chowk is because she had these beautiful water canals in the middle, and the moonlight would reflect in that. Chandni Chowk. So the first boulevard in the world, 1650 in Old Delhi, Chandni Chowk. But you don't get that until you find that out, right? When we started Delhipedia, we thought we had like some 50 monuments in Delhi. We grew our list to 160. We grew it to 400. Finally, with Intact, we have 1,300 monuments in Delhi. 3 are World Heritage Sites. Most countries in the world may not even have 1 World Heritage Site. India has 25. So Delhi has 3. That's huge. The amount that you have. I mean, Kurukshetra, which is here, right? One of the biggest battlegrounds for one of the biggest mythologies that has taken place is right here. How many monuments are there? How much is there? We don't even know because we're just still worried about feeding our starving millions, which has been the mandate for 70 years and another 70 years to come. Because politics does not want any change. The app, when you go onto it, you click it and videos play for you. You go onto the platform and the website, it does that for you as well. I'm not going to play all of it. Some of it has been shot. In fact, all of it has been shot to the standards that we deliver for Discovery.
Or simply Mayu is located in the heart of
There's
Delhi.
simple techniques. You could do this with your cell phone on the weekend. If you have a cell phone or an Apple or a, what's the new one? The OnePlus 5. Oh my God. What a beautiful camera.
He's one of the best.
You could produce better than this on your phone.
This mausoleum is the first
Trust me, and it's like an hour, 2 hours at best.
in India.
15 minutes you can do an edit.
Of the Taj
You need to shoot Planet One.
100 years later is itself inspired.
So this is Humayun's tomb. The other thing which we did in Delhipedia very consciously is try and break down walls. There is a huge wall that's coming up in India. It's between religion and faith. It could be anything. I like to eat dosas for dinner and someone else doesn't. So we could be sparring on that and it could come down to that. But if you divide society, if you inject poison into it, all it's going to become is toxic. So you need to remove that. And the only way you can do that is understand each other, understand the diversity that we have and celebrate that.
Hazrat Sheikh Khwaja Sayyid Muhammad Nizamuddin, also known as Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulaya, Rahmatullah Alayh, born in Badaयूं, Uttar Pradesh in 1238 AD to Ahmad Badayuni and mother Bibi Zulekha, was a 14th century saint who believed in complete renunciation of worldly desires and absolute servitude to God. Hazrat Nizamuddin Aulaya belonged to the Chishtiya Silsila, an order among the Sufis. He was also called Mehboob-e-Ilahi, which literally means lover of God, due to his intense love and compassion for God. He moved to Delhi along with his mother at a tender age, where they lived in extreme hardship. He was a disciple of Baba Fariduddin Ganje Shakkar, Rahmatullah Alayh. Baba Farid.
I want to stop that there. One of the interesting things which I like about Hazrat Nizamuddin's Dargah is a lot of times, and I got confused with it first. I thought, oh, it's near Humayun's tomb. And then pretty much got a whack on my head by the guy there. He's like, no, Humayun's tomb is near it. So Humayun's tomb was built to be in close proximity to Hazrat Nizamuddin. And again, it's beautiful little things. Here's a guy who's a pauper, right? Who had nothing, who just gave away his wealth to everyone and anything. Emperors came and tried to take him down, nothing could touch him. And he survives till late with fond memory. We've forgotten the emperors. There's no fondness for any of them. This guy's there. But this is Delhi and this is our culture and this is our tradition. And you look at it across faith. You look at the Sikh Gurdwaras in Delhi, the temples that we have in Delhi. You throw a stone, you're about to hit an 800,000-year-old temple in Delhi. That's the chances. So that's the tradition and heritage that we have. It's beautiful. So we celebrate a lot of that. But we also put in things which... Sorry. Okay. If I get that video back, I'll play it. Otherwise, there was an interesting video of this thing called Aeroplanet in Dwarka. This guy's taken an aeroplane and converted it. I'll just dive into it for a second and then out. So what this guy's done is he's taken an aeroplane, and for people who have never flown or can't afford to fly, he's got this there. You can actually go and jump off the emergency exit there. They do a full mock of a takeoff. They give you little tiffins in the plane. So it's an interesting experience. Again, it's something in Delhi most people don't know it's in Delhi, because Delhi has nothing to do, right? No, it has a lot going on. Why video? And this is also as storytellers going forward. Currently, of all the internet used in India, 70 to 80% is used by the mobile phone to consume video. That's there. It's changing. Every year it'll ramp up. You'll move to 90, 95 somewhere soon. So if you're wanting to be heard, use video as a medium that you can. It has a ubiquitous experience. People emote to video content better than photos and text. Of the diversity of content that we have, we've covered markets, shopping malls, and so you got Khan Market up there again, Nizamuddin Dargah there, and the mall there. So Delhipedia has about 260 videos. We upload about 3 a week, across section and of all user interest groups. We don't cluster on any particular socio-economic, and in Delhi, street food works better for all socio-economics. While there are groups in Delhi that will focus on only the rich or elite, we're like, okay, let's keep it open for everyone. It's information. So Mulchand, Paranthe Wala, again coming back to the different gurdwaras. Delhi has 10 historic Sikh gurdwaras. So we have all of them documented. We are very careful when we go and document this. We took permission from the Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. We drafted a script, sent it to them. They gave us permission to shoot. We shot, gave them the videos. They asked for changes. Then we posted it. So anything to do with religion in India, always be doubly cautious. You don't want to offend anyone. It's sentiment. It's something very personal. So, with any faith. So we do that with all the temples, dargahs, churches, anything that we've covered. We've gone and taken permission fully. Kavod Yatra, it just took place in Delhi. People were really irritated because it jams the traffic. Some people say, hey, these guys just come because it's a party, people get drunk. No, it's not true. 99% of the people that do this out of an astha, a devotion that they have in their hearts. 1% of them are troublemakers, but you'll have troublemakers everywhere. So can't blame all of them for it. Demystifying and breaking down walls. This is what that bit does. Delhipedia, we have about 815,000 followers on Facebook. If you guys aren't currently on it, do check us out and give us a like. Top video had about 1 million views, 300,000 people engaged, 259 videos. 3 a week is what we roll out. Till the next story, guys. Thank you. If there's any questions, do let me know.